Today a new V-belt has arrived for the generator. The ones I have just now are too small, or too short. I'm not sure what, it's this one here actually. So this one is an A38, so that means it's 38 inches long. So what I'm going to have to do is, it almost fits but not quite, is I'm going to have to move this forward a bit, and that'll mean drilling another hole in this supporting bar here. Also, as you can see, I've put a much bigger pulley on it. This one here, I'm sure it's 118mm. I did have it written on it. I'm just trying to look. It was written on the edge. I can't see it, but I think that one's 118 and this one's 170mm. So quite big. And the reason is that I'm increasing the speed is because I'm now charging. I'll be using it to charge the big batteries in the back there, so it needs a higher speed so it can output the voltage needed. Because when I had just a 1-to-1 ratio, I had to run the engine really quite fast to actually get it to charge. So now I should be able to get more power out of it and be able to charge batteries with the engine running a bit slower. Well, there we go, I managed to get the belt on. I don't know about you, but I think it is looking a bit squint. I think the engine is sort of a bit twisted sort of in this way a little bit, and the motor generator is twisted in a bit as well, probably due to the belt tension, because it is on there quite tight. I don't think it's too bad, it should be okay. But if you get V-belt drives too far out of line, then the belt wear is going to be a bit bad. Yeah, I don't think it does look exactly in line. But it's not ideal, really. The way I would have liked to have had it is a big heavy duty hinge on the bottom of here, and the motor sort of sitting up a bit, so the motor could like hinge back and forward, and I'd have two bars with slots cut in them, and then I could just slide the motor back and forward to use it as belt tension. Well, you know, to tension the belt, and just bolt it down like a car alternator. But I'm using slotted holes in the bit of wood, so it's not ideal. I just need to re-drill my hole, so put one in here I think, and put it down, tension it up there. I've had another aluminium bar. I'll probably put it maybe on the bottom as well, on that hole. So I'm actually using that hole there as well, so it's just sort of more bracing really. Another thing I will point out though is that the pulley was very difficult to get on. I actually had to heat it up really quite hot with a torch, and then I had to batter it on with a hammer, and I just sort of put this one over it and I had to hit it on, so it's on there really tight. I don't think it's ever going to move, and this one was pretty much the same. Okay, so now ready to test the belt drive. There's nothing electrically connected to it yet, but we just need to make sure it works. That seems fine. It doesn't get anywhere near as hot as it did with those tiny pulleys, so it's much better. Well, after doing some tests, unfortunately it's trying to spin the generator too fast. So right at the throttle's lowest position, it's like the engine is under full load. I cannot get it to actually spin any faster, so I've ordered yet another pulley. a 150mm one. This one's 118, so I've ordered a 150mm one, so that'll take speed down a bit. Because if I run this thing at full power, I could get it to output 60 volts. Well, at full speed it'll output 60 volts, so that's a bit too much. This setup would probably do a 48 volt battery bank, so with me taking the size down a bit, it should hopefully allow me to run the engine at a more efficient RPM. That being said though, with this setup I could probably connect it to the input of the solar charge controller and that will convert it down to the right voltage, but I'm worried that I could damage the controller by doing that. I think this controller can be used in a hydro setup as well, but I'm not sure, because well, if I'm using it with this generator, it could maybe overload itself, or the sort of current spikes coming off the engine, because the RPM is not like uniform as it spins, might do some damage. I don't know. I don't really like the idea of running it through this. Plus, if you run it through this, you've got energy waste in here, because obviously it's not 100% efficient. So it's best if it's just the generator going into the battery bank, then to the inverter, which is hiding in here in the darkness. Because if I put it through the charge controller, it's extra efficiency I'm losing. So I'll start it up and show you exactly what's happening to it. So that's what's happening, and it's just putting too much load in it, and the maximum power I can get out of it is about 800 watts, so we need to take the speed down a bit because it's just not operating efficiently at all. Now if I take the load off, the load being our batteries, I'll just unplug this here. And try again. I'll show you what voltage it goes up to. I'll just read it off. Yeah, I went up above 60 volts there, and it would have probably went further, which is too much for these capacitors and too much for the watt meter. So hopefully with the bigger pulley that'll be sorted out, but at least with all these pulleys and different size belts, if I ever do move to a different voltage of battery, all I can do is just swap out the pulleys to charge that particular battery setup. But there's not a lot more I can actually do with it. And this bridge rectifier for the test, during the testing, that hasn't even heated up at all as far as I can feel. Well, I decided to do another oil change, and the oil kind of looks like metallic paint. This is oil that's come out it, so that's quite weird. Maybe just because it's a new engine and it's just maybe all the bits of metal from the braking cycle or whatever. But yeah, and it must be aluminium because I put a magnet next to it, and a small amount of material would stick to the side, so it mostly seems to be just aluminium, maybe off the crankshaft or whatever. No, it might be a steel crankshaft in fact, but I just thought I'd share that. I'm going to put new oil in it and see if it goes like metallic paint again.